It'd be much better to do it in person. You get the full experience.
Or that. Yeah, just, yeah. We can go full food network on this.
Hey guys, this is Erin. If this is your first time to our channel and you want to learn all there is to know about living in Richmond, Virginia, tap that like button, hit subscribe, and click that little bell so you're notified every time we release a new video.
Hi, welcome to Living in Richmond, Virginia. I'm Emily. I'm here with the local scoop, and here I have Paul, the owner of Can Can down in Carytown. Welcome, Paul. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me.
Awesome. So first off, I want to know what made you purchase the Can Can. I believe you purchased it in 2019, 2020?
2020. Yeah. So I had been the general manager here for a while. I've been working here for about a decade. I loved the restaurant when I moved to town. It was the only one I wanted to work at, just due to its reputation and the operation that it had here. So I worked the old ownership, the Rip family, for years and years. And then they were looking to sell in 2020 and approached us in 2019. My brother was the longtime executive chef too. So essentially they were worried about selling it to somebody from the outside and having that person come in and change the concept or not understand what the restaurant's about. So they gave us a great opportunity to buy it from them and continue the tradition here. Really important restaurant for the neighborhood and the community at large.
Oh, yeah. And can you go into detail about you guys's, what you're all about?
Yeah, so we're a French brasserie. We're known for doing coffee and pastries, having a full lunch menu and a full dinner menu. We have a very large kitchen facility. All of our pastries obviously baked in-house, but all of our breads baked in-house, fresh daily. We've got a large soup and stock program, so just everything from your steak sauces, your onion soup, which we're really well known for, braises for the bourguignon, done in-house and just kind of with very traditional methods. And with our a slight American twist of, a seasonal and local produce when we can.
Right. Yeah, I know. When I lived down in Carytown, I would always walk by Can Can or go in for a drink, and you guys have those windows that open up. Feels very French.
It's also wonderful to work and not feel like you're stuck inside on those beautiful days. We open up the window, everybody gets fresh air, and it's a mood lightener. Everybody loves it.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I love all the aromas that come out. I mean, and it really gets your belly going, and very curious. Go and see.
We often refer to the bakery as our cologne.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like that should be used more often.
When we had the dark days of the pandemic and we shut down, and my brother and I went through with the purchase anyway, the restaurant was closed for a little over 2 months. And that was like the first sign of life when we just came in and started baking bread and pastries again to start service that day. And that smell came and it was like triggering for everybody. We were all smiling. We could feel everything starting again.
Yeah.
Felt like everything was going to be okay.
Yeah, I know that must have been really tough. I mean, you guys have been persevering, but it must have been really rough.
We figured the worst case scenarios we would end up exactly where we started. So we may as well roll the dice and believe in ourselves.
Wow. Well, that's so inspiring, and I can't imagine Carytown without your restaurant.
Yeah, it's conveniently located directly in the middle, so to consider it, right in the heart of Carytown is pretty apropos that way. But yeah, just outside of a lot of people in the neighborhood coming to us, like we have a very large staff that then also patronizes all of the local shops and restaurants. It's like its own small economy just here in the neighborhood, which is nice. All of us supporting each other.
Yeah, that's the main purpose of the small business. I love hearing about how creation of community happens at that level. It's really the breath that we breathe and everything. So, and why did you move to Richmond? Did you move for the job?
Yep. So I grew up in Hampton Roads, and my aunt was in restaurants, Northern Virginia. She owned a restaurant called the Stardust in Old Town Alexandria, and it closed unfortunately. But I moved up there to kind of help her with that process, and I was working restaurants up there. She had been debating making another run, which was an exciting prospect for me. But unfortunately, she passed away from cancer several years back. My brother and sister both lived here locally, and my brother was, working his way up his skills as a chef, and I was primarily doing front of house. So we moved here. Northern Virginia was very exciting, and especially growing up in Virginia Beach, it felt like moving to the big city and having a great time in DC and everything. But it was not very affordable, and especially on a restaurant manager salary, trying to get married and raise a family, it was a difficult prospect. So, we moved here. It was a great market. It was kind of the beginning of Richmond being really called like a foodie town, if you want to consider it that. But when I would come to visit, Can Can was this very prominent force, in the city, and I loved coming here. I love the restaurant. That's the only place I wanted to be.
Wow. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Richmond has become much more of a foodie town in the last decade. I don't think any of us really realized just how much. So,
Yep.
yeah, so you transferred over here, and so where do you live now? Like, did you move all around Richmond?
A little bit. When we first moved to town, we got a great apartment in Carver that we really enjoyed, and we just didn't realize how close it was going to be to VCU. And then we lived in Union Hill for about 5-6 years. I guess it'd be 5 years, which we also loved. It was a gorgeous little townhouse. It was at 23rd and M, and so we were just a block from Union Market and Sub Rosa and Metzger and all these wonderful places. Parks nearby. We have two boys, both of which were born in that townhouse, but it was a 2-bedroom. So we outgrew that, and made the move to buying our home, which we bought in the McGuire neighborhood in Southside, near the VA. We had tried a couple houses. We knew, we were just trying to hit the market 4 years ago with what we could afford and what was within our budget. We found a house, a little 3-bedroom house with a pretty sizable yard for a city plot, and spent the last couple of years just putting our heart and soul into it. Growing grass in the backyard and fencing that in. We recently replaced the deck. Just kind of working to make it our little slice of paradise.
Yeah.
Much credit to my father-in-law for helping with all that. He's the handy one, and I just learned.
Well, that's what you need, family members to help pitch in when they can.
Yeah.
But how do you like Southside?
I like it a lot. There's a lot of really cool places there. And then you can kind of explore further south, like going down to the Richmond Zoo, checking out the nearby communities like in Midlothian and everything. There's other restaurants down there just outside of the city. My mother's from Colombia, South America. And there's a big Latin presence down the Hull Street corridor. There's a great Colombian restaurant called Cafe Sabor. I actually just had breakfast with my sister there yesterday. And then there's an amazing Venezuelan place that used to have a location on Broad Rock near where we lived, and opened up a location in the West End, and now that's their sole location. But just to give props to Bocata Arepa Bar, that's some of the best taste of South America you can have in the city, in my opinion.
Really? Oh, I'm going to have to give it a try now, because
Please
that
do.
sounds delicious.
We catered them for my younger son's baptism.
Oh, wow.
We just get trays of their empanadas, and
Yeah. No, you probably have a much better beat on the food scene than the normal person. But
I enjoy it quite a bit, but with two boys at home, I don't get the opportunity to explore out as much as I'd like.
yeah, no, I have a little one too. It's true. You just kind of, get it where you can and go and explore when you can. So, yeah. And if you could move anywhere in Richmond, since you've been to a couple different locations, I'm guessing that you have like a dream place that you might go to if the money was no object.
That is such a hard question, especially because we've moved in a couple locations while we've lived here. And my wife and I have talked about it, like just dream scenario. If we could do it, where would we? And we've explored, like the Bon Air area of Southside, which we really love. We absolutely love living in Union Hill, and the Union Hill Churchill area. Like, would we go back there and find a house that we could fit in and do that? Would we actually just do a house like in the Fander Museum District, which is obviously where I work and I spend the majority of my time, and I love it here. Go out west to the suburbs, Short Pump or Glen Allen. Like, we have had the debate 1,000 times over the past couple of years, and we've never been able to land on a solution. I think I'd be more inclined to do the West End, Glen Allen area or Bon Air, only because my boys like playing soccer. So, we need some sort of so I can teach them that. And we have a dog, and right now we've got a yard big enough for the dog to run around and to play sports in. But we also just might live in our house forever. We'll see.
It's true. I mean, it sounds like you're making it into exactly what you want anyway. But
yeah, exactly.
It's good to have the options. I know for myself, I would really like to walk to work. So living in the fan.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine the luxury, but the thought of being able to do it sounds great. And of course, it would mean that I'm in the museum district, which is also great.
Yeah, there's so many really large, beautiful houses, and I haven't seen in most of them, and I'm always curious, especially with the differences in the construction. And so
there's a lot of unique character. Everybody's kind of put their own stamp, and yeah, I mean, it's great even just driving through. It's nice.
Yeah, exactly. So what is your favorite thing or your family's favorite thing to do in Richmond?
I would say the number one favorite thing is going to be Maymont. Because we can see all the animals. It's great walking. In the beautiful weather, it's really hard to beat. There was one time we tried to go, and it was closed for a private event. And the only reason I bring that up is because we were trying to explain it to our then 4-year-old, that it was closed for a party, and he thought the animals were having a party. And ever since then, he's called Maymont the goat party. And that's our family thing. Let's head to the goat party. Let's feed some goats, and then we'll go walk around and see everything else. So we drive past like, hey, it's a goat. Like, they do, those goats. They party. Yeah. He's going to be disappointed, I think, because he turns 7 soon, and he can read. And I think we're going to go one time. He's like, what is Maymont?
Because for so long it's been the goat party.
Yeah. Same thing with O'Toole's in Southside. It's near a house, and there's a big leprechaun painted on the outside, and they call it the Leprechaun Place. That's they asked for it. Nicknames for everything.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. You guys have your own shorthand.
Yeah, it's almost like our own language at this point. It's fun.
So any outsiders are like, what are they talking about?
Yeah, it's a good tip for kids. If you make something sound fun, they're gonna hop on board. So beef stroganoff, not always the most exciting meal, but when I make it at home, we call it beefy oofle foofle, and they get very excited. Yeah.
Ooh, that does sound really special.
Like that, yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. So what's next for you guys? Do you have big plans for Can Can?
We recently opened a cafe downtown in the Library of Virginia, just a few months ago. So that's been great. It's been another avenue for us to use our great bread, make sandwiches there, salads. A lot of places downtown closed during the pandemic, unfortunately. And so as people have gone back to work, in the areas around the library and City Hall, there's just been kind of a lack of options. So it's nice to provide that. We've started doing online ordering for convenience for people and bulk ordering for the offices down there. So that's been great getting that off the ground. Would we open another restaurant in the next couple of years? We floated a few ideas. We'll see.
Okay.
But nothing I could even begin to vocalize at all yet.
Oh yeah. Well,
It's kind of part of the whole buying the restaurant whenever all the chips were down. Like, we may as well go big at this point.
yeah, I mean, that must have been such a difficult time, and the fact that you guys are still just plugging away is just so incredible.
Just had to put one foot in front of the other, and pray the sidewalk would stay underneath you.
Well, it clearly did. I mean, you guys are bigger than ever. Every time I'm down in Carytown, you guys are packed. There's people waiting. So,
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's honestly made we have the same staffing level that we had pre-COVID, like the same amount of people, and we're still doing 5 days just because the volume has been so big on those days. It's like
Mhm.
we have more people per day. And so things like the coffee service we used to do in the morning, we just do takeout. Eventually we'd like to bring that back. We'd like to bring back at least a sixth day. And it just is taking a lot more people than we anticipated. But, we're getting people trained up now, ready for patio season so we can use the patios again. And then, we'll just keep going from there, keep expanding.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. And I'm looking forward to the next time I get to come and try one of your wonderful cocktails. Also, the thought of just that pastry smell is making me hungry right now. So I'm gonna have to, indulge myself.
It's hard to say no.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who can say no to a pastry? I know
Yeah.
I've never been able to.
Especially first thing in the morning, still warm, nice and flaky. It's
Yeah.
those special experiences you always hold on to and you never forget about.
Hmm. Well, to make me even more hungry, I have to ask what your menu is for tonight because I'm sure you have something delicious.
Yeah, so we on holidays we've always kind of had the philosophy of just serving a normal menu, and that's not to dig at
Oh,
anybody else, but a lot of restaurants will kind of force you into prefix things, and we've debated doing it in the past, but we always just really like the thought of anybody being able to come and kind of make the experience what they wanted. Maybe they just want to come in and do a spread of appetizers and drink cocktails, which a lot of people love to do. Some people
yeah.
want to come to a full 3 or 4 course experience, and we can give you whatever you want. Just make sure your holiday's special. So we're ready to make it happen tonight.
I'm I'm blown away and I'm so happy that you guys are flourishing and just continuing on and I can't wait to see what Can Can keeps doing. I mean, I do get newspaper articles and different things when I see new restaurants opening up. I get real excited. I'm so happy to see the foodie of Richmond just continue to rev and entrepreneurs like yourself just keep on pushing out wonderful food and great experiences.
I appreciate you saying so. We're happy to be a part of the scene, and we love being a part of it and supporting the others in it too. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, next time that I have people down in Carytown, we're gonna head your way because I mean I can't get enough of French food, honestly.
We'll head on down.
Yeah.
Saying so.
Well, thank you so much. Those are all my questions. Did you have anything else you wanted to add just for all of our viewers?
No, just appreciate the support. Coming back post COVID, I know it was difficult times as we were all trying to navigate different rules and different things we had to do, and then expanding out as we could. It's back about as close to normal as possible, minus the coffee house. But we'll keep working back towards normalcy as our ultimate goal. And so
Yeah.
thank you everybody for the last couple of years.
Well, and thank you. I mean, for keeping it open and keeping you just alive in Carytown. And I mean, I don't think that it could be Carytown without Can Can. And if any viewers have questions or anything, we'll put up pictures of your restaurant throughout, hopefully, and they'll come and see you because it's an institution.
And we're happy to keep it going. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you go because I know that you probably really busy today, getting ready for the holiday evening service. So.
Good.
Thanks so much for joining us. And if you ever want to come back and talk about something, something special you guys are rolling out, we're always
Give
here.
you the exclusive scoop.
Oh yeah, I am all about that. Next time though, I'm going to need to come by grab a pastry, and then be eating it while we're talking.
It'd be much better to do it in person. You get the full experience.
Or that. Yeah, yeah. You know, we can go full Food Network on this.
That's its own advertising right there.
So, well, thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful month and year. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, and happy Valentine's Day to you.
Yeah, thanks as well.
Once again, if this is your first time to our channel and you want to learn everything there is to know about living in Richmond, Virginia, tap that like button, hit subscribe, and click that little bell so you're notified every time we release a new video.